Hey Scorpios, welcome to your New Year's reading. I hope you guys are doing great. We're going to take a peek at any lessons that you might have needed to learn from 2021 and then see what your transition into 2022 is looking like. We're going to jump right in and start by pulling a couple of oracle cards to see what energy is surrounding your reading right now. And the first card that we have out is Thinker. Let's see what other energies are surrounding this. And we also have Flow. So, Scorpio, off the break, it feels like this is a very quiet energy that you're coming into 2022 with. There feels like this sense of openness that you have right now where you're being a lot more intentional. You're being a lot more thoughtful in terms of your path forward. There seems to be this sense of you giving up a certain level of control that you may have wanted to have over your path forward. And now it feels as though you're trusting a little bit more in yourself, in spirit, God, whatever you want to call it, this higher power that's out there, and that you are letting things unfold as they should. At the same time, it's not as if you're like careening down a mountain road with like your feet off the pedals and your hands in the air, just reckless. But it feels as though you are in a much more fluid place where you have a greater ability to sort of adapt to the way that things are changing in your life, to the things that are unfolding before you. And it feels like you're a lot more open to possibilities. So you're sort of thinking through right now what you want your life to look at, what you want your life to look like. There's a very contemplative energy that's around you right now, and you're kind of open to whatever. It's almost as if you're looking for signs and synchronicities from the universe to let you know that you're on the right track, but it doesn't feel as though there are, any big barriers or anything like that. It just feels as though right now you're in a place of flowing through life. And so that makes sense looking at the lessons. The biggest lesson that you might have to take away from 2021 is we have the Seven of Cups. So in a lot of readings, depending on the context, this is the card of disillusionment, right? But it's also very much the card of options. It's a card of exploration. So I think that the biggest takeaway for you, Scorpio, from 2021 is that you have options, that you are not locked into a specific path right now, that you are not locked into a specific road. And I think that that's because you have seen that sometimes the best laid plans of mice and men do often go awry. And so I feel as though your life has taken some twists and turns that you never necessarily expected, but those twists and turns actually turned out to be very viable options for you in your life, maybe things that you hadn't considered before. And so I feel like the biggest takeaway for you, Scorpio, from 2021 is that nothing is set in stone and that you always have the ability to make changes, that life has the ability to turn on a dime, even if you're not expecting it, even if you're not looking for it. And so what we have for you in terms of your greatest achievement in 2021, we have the Knight of Pentacles. Now, this is typically the slowest moving knight in the deck, right? When they come in, they have this offer of stability, but it takes so long. And Scorpio, I feel like this is you exercising a fair amount of patience, right? When it comes to your life and the path that you're traveling on. It feels as though at one point in time, you felt sort of locked in, you felt sort of stuck where you are right now, but you've started to sort of embrace the shifts that you've seen can happen in life. And even though things may seem like they're taking a while to come to fruition for you, that your goals seem a little bit far off, you're not making as much progress as you'd hoped, things aren't moving as fast as you thought they would or hoped that they would, it feels as though you're embracing patience and you're letting go a little bit and sort of just seeing how things play out. It's almost as if you're in a place where you're starting to accept that slow is not necessarily a bad thing, because it gives you time to process. It gives you time to think through what this change means for you, how you should pivot to make sure that you can take advantage of what's here for you now. Now, what you're leaving behind in 2021 is we have the Ten of Wands. That's the card of burden, right? That's the card of being stressed out. This is someone who's carrying a lot of unnecessary weight on their back. We also have the Magician, and we also have the Eight of Wands in reverse. So I think what you're letting go of is the thought that you can sort of manipulate things into being where you want them to be. So we have the Eight of Wands in reverse. Now, upright, that's a card of movement. That's a card of messaging. That's a card of action, right? Messages flying, coming through with a sense of urgency. And I think that, again, you're letting go of that stress of always being in this place of anticipating that, oh my God, something needs to come and it needs to come now. And you know, we need to move. This is what you're letting go of. And the need to sort of control the narrative too, right? This is you getting into your flow state. This is you having all of the tools. Sometimes a magician can be viewed as being sort of the puppet master, right? Where they have control over all of these elements, all of these things, and they can sort of make things dance at will. And I feel like for you, Scorpio, this is you letting go of that energy. And we also have here the Ten of Swords on the bottom of the deck. So we have for you, in terms of what you're releasing, the Ten of Wands. We have the Ten of Swords. This is disappointment. This is stress. This is burden that you're releasing, that you're not carrying with you in 2022. So what's coming for you in the new year? Oh, the Ten of Cups. Look at this, all these tens that are coming out for you. But what's coming towards you is not burden. It's not stress. It's not disappointment. This is the pinnacle of your happiness. This is fulfillment, like at the highest level possible. This is you experiencing all of the joy that this world has to offer. And I think that that's going to come because you have explored your options. So we have the Seven of Wands in the challenge position. So what you might find a little bit challenging or a little bit difficult in 2022 is making sure that you protect your happiness. Making sure that you don't fall back into this place of maybe feeling a little bit restricted or feeling like you don't have options, feeling that you're trapped, feeling this weight on you, trying to make things happen. This is something that might be a little bit stressful for you, right? Is making sure that you stay in this flow state. Making sure that you are open to the opportunities and the options that are coming out before you. Making sure that you give them their attention and think through what it is that you want to explore, what path it is that you want to take. So there might be some outside influences from other people who want to provide their input on what it is that you should do in life. So I feel like there might be a little bit of a challenge protecting what you know is right for you and sort of pushing away these other folks and their opinions that you don't feel comfortable with, that you don't feel is right for you. So one card just flipped out. Let me grab that real quick. Oh, Jesus. Okay. So the overall theme that we have for you when it comes to 2022, we have the Three of Swords. Let's see if we can clarify that, because that's heartbreak, that's disappointment. That's not what I'm sensing overall from your reading. So to clarify that, we have the Knight of Wands. So this is an incoming message. This is something that's passionate. I do feel like there is going to be a little bit of disappointment. There's going to be a little bit of anxiety, mostly Scorpio, from the people that are around you. I think that there's going to be a little bit of hurt that you experience based on their reception of where you are headed in your own life. So there's going to have to sort of be that balance between you feeling like you've let other people down, or that, you know, handling people's sort of disappointment with you, or, you know, having to fight back against their ideas, which is what we saw in your challenge position, right? This is you moving forward in spite of other people's opinions, other people's thoughts. This is you following your passion. This is you moving forward in a way that now excites you. This is you exploring what this world has to offer, independent of what other people's thoughts are. So again, there might be a little bit of a situation where you have to push back against, I think, very well-meaning people in your life. And again, I feel like there was another sign that got this energy. However, I don't think for them, the people around them were very well-meaning. Those people wanted to sort of keep them in their place. I feel like these people around you are rather protective, and they want the best for you. They don't want to see you hurt. And it feels like you exploring these options, you sort of riding the wave of these changes, is a little bit out of character for you. And so these folks might think that they're doing what they can to protect you, but you don't need it. You don't need their protection. And I think that you are going to be more comfortable with sort of letting go and seeing how your path unfolds in front of you. These people might take a little bit longer to come around, but they will. They will. And so what we see for advice from Spirit, we have the Queen of Cups. So this is a very giving, this is a very loving energy. So I feel like Spirit is saying that whatever comes your way, first approach it with a spirit of openness and a spirit of loving. Because you are, I think you are in a good position right now, Scorpio, to do what's right for you. And so there's this feeling of always honoring yourself in the decisions that you make going forward as things unfold, as you start to explore these options that will create change in your life. This is you accepting other people's input for what it is, looking at it coming from a good place with the best of intentions, but ultimately doing what's right for you. Finding your own justice, making your own decisions about what feels good, about what makes you whole in this. And so looking at your transition from going from 2021 into 22, we have the Lovers card. And so Scorpio, this is absolutely beautiful. With the Lovers, we have you sort of, again, going into this new phase where it's something that you absolutely love. It's something that makes your heart sing. It's something that almost feels like the missing piece. It feels like that final link that you were looking for. So I think that you're moving towards that, which is absolutely beautiful. And so I think that this transition is going to be one where you do ultimately, you will feel supported, not just by yourself, but by the universe. And again, even if these folks around you are a little bit chaotic, know that it's coming from such a good place. They truly, truly want what's best for you. They want to make sure that you're happy. They want to make sure that you're healthy. They want to make sure that you're whole. And so you're stepping into this new year so incredibly supported, so incredibly blessed, and with opportunities just unfolding for you by the second. And I think that you will know what path that you need to take, Scorpio. You will absolutely know that. So let's try and pull one last card, and your cards are now not cooperating at all. We just need a couple of cards to see what last little bit of messages Spirit has for you. And the first card that we have out is I am the loving energy of the universe. We also have I surrender to a power greater than me. And okay, we're not taking like all 10 of those cards that just came out. Just one or two to wrap up, Spirit. One or two. Final message for my Scorpio collective. And the last card that came out is nurture yourself first. So again, I feel like, what we saw in your transition into 2022 was the Lovers. And we have for one of your first messages, I am the loving energy of the universe. Understand that you were loved by so many people, yourself, the universe, the people around you. They want to see you do well. They want to see you succeed. They want to be protective, but sometimes you have to forge your own path. And that doesn't mean that you have to get rid of them or anything like that. But you do have to be a little bit more intentional in setting your boundaries and making sure that the folks around you are very clear on what your path is and that you're doing what's best for you. Surrendering to a power greater than yourself. We see that reflected in the Flow card, where you're not fighting, you're not resisting, you're being open to what the universe has to offer you. And there's a lot that's being offered. So this is you sort of letting go of control and not trying to manipulate things in a way that you think is best for you. This is you taking time out to explore the options, to say, okay, universe, this is what you're presenting me with. Let me take time to think things through. And taking care of yourself first. We saw that in the advice from Spirit, right? Nurturing yourself first. We saw this, you choosing what's right for you. And understanding that the people who seem to be blocking you may be doing it, you may think that they're doing it with ill intent. That's not the case. But regardless, you have to do what's right for you. That's finding justice for yourself. That's nurturing yourself first. So you have a lot of support behind you, Scorpio, and you have a lot of options in front of you. Just to make sure that you do what's right for you, independent of what these folks, these very well-meaning folks around you, are sort of putting in your head. There's a path that you're meant to be on. Only you can find it. But you're going to have to let go of a couple of things to get there. So I'm going to leave it there for you, Scorpios. I hope that this was helpful and I hope that it resonated. If it did, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. But in the meanwhile, stay safe, stay healthy, and I am sending you all huge hugs.